The following GGP sports presentation is a preview of the 17th Winter Games.
For 16 days in February, Lillehammer, Norway will make its mark in Olympic history. The 17th Winter Olympics are near, and Lillehammer now awaits the world's best athletes to share in its moment of Olympic glory. Two of those athletes will try to improve on their disappointing Olympic performances in Albertville. Figure skater Surya Bonali of France fell to the pressures of being the home country favorite. Now she's determined to earn a spot on the podium in Lillehammer. Canada's Kurt Browning, four-time world champion. He'd like to erase his memory of the Albertville Games. Injuries hampered his performance there, but he's back in World Championship 4 and ready to battle the two Olympic champions, Brian Boitano and Victor Petrenko. And finally, the man behind the USA's bobsled's hope for gold in Lillehammer, NASCAR driver Jeff Bodine. With his help, the new computer-designed Bodine sled has put the U.S. into the high-tech age and ready to challenge the Europeans for its first medal in 38 years. The Winter Olympic Games from Lillehammer, Norway lie just ahead. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lillehammer 94. I'm your host, Tim Ryan. In just a short time, thousands of people from all over the world will invade this small Norwegian town to watch and enjoy one of sport's greatest events, the Winter Olympic Games. And the Olympic Organizing Committee here has finished all of their preparation work and are now counting down the days to the opening ceremonies on February 12th. The athletes who will be competing here are doing the same, and one of them is Italian ski racer Deborah Compagnoni. You may remember her from Albertville, where she won the gold medal in the women's supergiant slalom, only to have a severe fall a few days later in her favorite event, the giant slalom. But she has bounced back and had a good season on the World Cup circuit last year. She expects to be on the medal podium again here in Lillehammer. Deborah Compagnoni loves to walk in the mountains. She was raised near the clear streams and fresh pine air of this Italian mountainside village of Santa Caterina.
We walked in the mountains with my papa, who's an alpine guide for this valley. He taught me to know the mountains here and lots of beautiful paths very high. I'm up here all year. Sometimes I get fed up, but not for long, because I realize what I like best is the mountains.
Deborah lives in a chalet-style hotel owned and operated by her family. Her popularity as one of the world's top ski racers has drawn even more visitors to this mountain retreat. For Compagnoni, the mountains represent the best of times and the worst of times. 1992, on the slopes of Maribel, France, Deborah would fulfill a lifelong dream with a dramatic upset victory in the Super G. Compagnoni is going to do it. She's there. Deborah Compagnoni takes the lead. But the jubilation of her gold medal win in the Super G would not last. The very next day, Compagnoni took a disastrous fall in the giant slalom. Compagnoni is down here on the top of the hill. Deborah Compagnoni is out of it. She's hurt. Her knee was badly damaged. She would have to begin again. Deborah has been through this before. She missed the '88 Winter Games in Calgary when she tore up her right knee just a month before the Olympics began. Now she's working hard to restore her fragile knees and focus on the '94 Games. Until the Games begin, Deborah continues her day job working in the family hotel, constantly reminded of her highs and lows.
We had a cassette of the race in the hotel, and continuously throughout the day the cassette was shown where I won the race. Also the cassette of the day after when I fell, which I hadn't seen until I got back home and looked at it. I didn't realize I screamed so much near the television camera where everybody heard it. But it was beautiful to return home, even with that bad luck, and feel the love, not just from my parents, but also from all the people that I didn't even know from every part of Italy.
Away from the rigors of rehabilitation and training for 1994, Debbie enjoys painting. Her work is displayed throughout the hotel along with her medals. For now, she thinks only of competing again, a future only of skiing.
No, I think I'll always be on my skis in the snow. But now my races are important, and I'm thinking of what I want to achieve. I won't say what my goals are. I won't tell anybody.
Having come back from that knee injury, Deborah Compagnoni completed 9 races on the World Cup circuit last year, and only once did she not finish in the top 5. Along with her more famous Italian teammate, Alberto Tomba, she gives Italy a strong 1-2 punch in the chase for medals in the alpine skiing event. When Lillehammer 94 continues, we'll see if Canada's Kurt Browning, the 4-time men's world figure skating champion, can bounce back from his disappointment at Albertville and take on the reigning gold medalist Victor Petrenko. And later on, we'll see what a top NASCAR auto driver has done to enhance the USA's medal chances in the bobsled event.
GGP's Lillehammer 94 is being brought to you in part by York International, a world leader in heating, air conditioning, and industrial refrigeration technology, and by Charles Schwab & Company, helping investors help themselves, offering investors no-fee accounts and other innovative services.
It's an athlete's proudest moment. Its beauty is sure to bring on a smile. The ultimate goal, winning an Olympic medal. Each Olympics has its own medal design. When it came to choosing the look for Lillehammer, the organizing committee decided to make a contest of it. The winner, a jewelry designer from Oslo, Ingjerd Hunnevåg.
They called me just before Christmas last year and told me that I won the competition. I'm sure I was very happy, but I couldn't really believe it was true.
A key element in Ingjerd's winning design was the background stone excavated during the construction of the ski jump in Lillehammer.
When I saw the little gray stone which came from the ski jump in Lillehammer, I thought that was nice to use that gray shade because it goes very well to gold, silver, and bronze.
3 years ago, it seemed that nothing could stop Canada's Kurt Browning from winning an Olympic medal. From 1989 to 1991, he won 3 men's world figure skating championships. And then, just months before the Albertville Games, he suffered a back injury, which ultimately hampered his performance at the Olympics, and he finished a disappointing 6th. Now, 2 years later, Browning is back, once again the reigning world champion, and determined to erase his memory of Albertville.
And now it's Kurt Browning's chance.
1992, Albertville, France. Kurt Browning was an overwhelming favorite to walk away with the gold medal in men's figure skating. He had performed the most difficult of programs flawlessly, including in 1988, the first quadruple jump ever in a competition. He had won 3 consecutive world championships leading up to the 92 Games. This was to be his crowning achievement.
Triple axel, and he falls down, and he cannot do the second jump. That is a major deduction.
Trouble with a disc in his back had cost Kurt valuable practice time. Precision and grace were replaced by nervousness and doubt.
It was just a minor injury, but the way that it affected me emotionally, the confidence really sunk.
He'd spent years preparing for this one night, yet it all slipped away in a single moment. After the fall, the champion Kurt was gone. The fire in his performance, the connection with the crowd, all of it disappeared.
That's what was taken away from me in Albertville, was the chance to step on the ice, smile at the audience, and say, look forward to the next 4.5 minutes. It's going to be great. And I didn't do that. I sort of snuck on the ice and felt bad about myself and my image and the way I projected myself. I watched the tapes, and it wasn't me.
He didn't have to see the scores. Kurt knew his Olympic hopes were gone.
The dreams of gold may be over.
In the days and weeks that followed, the challenge was not just to regain his world title, but to reignite his competitive fires.
I've had a few weird feelings about skating since then, like it's a little harder to get up in the morning. I think that stung me more than I thought.
Kurt has regained his championship form, capped off by an unprecedented 4th world title in 1993. This time, he prepared not just physically, but mentally as well, keying not on the medal itself, but his personal priorities.
I think I got hung up on winning a gold medal. It's easy to listen to you say how important was the gold medal and think that I need a gold medal to be happy. I know I don't need that anymore.
But a win in the 94 Olympic Games in Lillehammer would certainly cap off a championship career for Kurt Browning. In a field that includes 1988 Olympic champion Brian Boitano and the 92 gold medalist Victor Petrenko, the winner will truly be the best of his time.
It's going to be a great competition. The other skaters are the best skaters in the world, and it has the potential to be the best Olympics, and I want to be a part of it.
With Browning back in top form, the men's competition should be the most exciting ever. And with the amateur reinstatement of Victor Petrenko and 1988 gold medalist Brian Boitano, the gold medal here in Lillehammer is literally up for grabs. When Lillehammer 94 continues, we'll take a look at the Canadian hockey team. And what's this top NASCAR driver doing on a track of a different kind? And later on, you'll meet the European ladies figure skating champion, Surya Bonali of France.
Now let's rejoin Tim Ryan as he takes an inside look at the Canadian hockey team.
We're a big rival with Canada. We have things to prove to each other.
The Olympics bring out the fiercest of competitors, and it's no different when the Canadians meet the Americans. Besides wanting the gold, these players are also jockeying for position in the NHL, since many of these hard-nosed guys above and below the border are draft picks for the same NHL teams.
The goal for most guys here is to set a good base for themselves, to develop themselves as better players, and then move on to the next level.
Corey Hirsch is the goalie for Team Canada, and he admits the international game is a bit different than the pros. Less hitting, more finesse, and if a goalie doesn't adapt, he can get burned.
I can't be as aggressive because these guys like to pass the puck, and they're great with the puck. So, I mean, if I'm too far out of my net, I'm going to get beat by one of those passes. I mean, these guys are unbelievably talented with their own skills, and you know, you give them a chance and they'll take it.
One veteran leader on the Canadian squad already has NHL experience. And yes, everybody asks him about the great ones, Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux.
They're always looking for stories or anything they can get, and I mean, that's great, and you know, I'm always there to, you know, give them little tips or a little bit of wisdom here or there from experience, and I think you need a good balance, and that's what I'm here to help bring.
Goaltenders are a different breed. Who would want to have a hard rubber puck flying at them in excess of 100 miles per hour? So what makes a goalie want to be the masked man in the net?
When I was a kid, I mean, I thought the equipment was really cool. I mean, you get to play dress up every day you went out on the ice.
The 94 gold in this very physical sport looks to be a very close race. In fact, too close to call. But Canada's Corey Hirsch is glad to be the masked man. In fact, he's very happy to be in this position come Olympic time.
You've only got a shot to do this probably once in my life. You know, it's like it's almost like winning the Stanley Cup. It's the same thing. It's a one-chance deal, and you know, you got to make the best of it.
From the lightning fast sport of hockey to the fast track of auto racing. What does auto racing have to do with the Winter Olympics? Well, it seems that during the Albertville Games, top NASCAR driver Jeff Bodine was watching the event on television, and he became an instant fan. Even went to Lake Placid to drive a sled. Well, he bent that sled, but became hooked on the sport. And ever since, he has dedicated himself to helping the U.S. become a success in the bobsled event.
Bobsledding, you know, really got her interest, and sitting there watching our guys compete is fun, but it isn't fun when they're getting beat. And our guys got beat in the last Olympics. No one really got real close, you know, to any medals. So mentioned that to a friend of mine. Well, first I told my family, I said they just need a driver, a real race driver.
And so began the road from the NASCAR circuit to the frozen tracks of Olympic bobsled competition for Jeff Bodine. How hard could it be? All you need to make it to the Olympics is a dream, determination, and a little support. Well, at least he had the first two.
They all laughed at me. You think you could drive a bobsled? I said, yeah, maybe. You don't know. Maybe I can help them. There's families laughing, rolling around on the floor. They thought that was a joke. I said, you watch. Someday I'm going to be in the Olympics in a bobsled for the United States.
It only took that first bumpy ride in Lake Placid for Jeff to realize he would not be part of the U.S. bobsled team as a driver. So he began to think about how else he could help out the team.
So I went back home and started thinking about it, and I said, you know, we've got some of the best fabricators in the whole world building race cars. There's no reason why we can't build a better bobsled than what our guys are using. You know, if we didn't change a thing, just built one, I know we could do a better job.
The Americans were strong in the bobsled from the sport's Olympic debut in the 1920s all the way through the 1950s. But since 1960, virtually all competitive bobsleds have been made in Europe, and nearly all of the Olympic medals have been won by Europeans. Those days may be over, because Jeff Bodine and his crew did what they set out to do. They built a better American sled. And when it was unveiled on last year's World Cup tour, everyone, especially the Europeans, took notice.
I spent a lot of money to come up with this design. My fellow folks have worked a lot of hours to build this thing. We don't want to throw it away. We don't want to give it to the Europeans so they can beat us, and we just don't want to waste that. So we're going to try to protect that the best we can, but still let our American athletes use these bobsleds. This project is ongoing. It isn't going to end after the Olympics in Lillehammer. We're going to continue it from here on.
Earlier this winter, the new USA Bodine sled, driven by Brian Scheimer, set a track record at the Olympic Bob Run in nearby Hundertfossen. Will it help the USA end a 38-year drought without a medal? We'll just have to wait and see. When Lillehammer 94 continues, we'll return our focus to figure skating, and you'll meet the European ladies figure skating champion, Surya Bonali of France. Stay tuned.
Join GGP for the Lillehammer Olympics in Norway. Packages include hotel accommodations, all ground transportation in Norway, daily tickets to the Winter Games, plus much more. Special airfare is also available. For information on this limited offer, call 415-924-7500 and ask for Lillehammer Olympic Travel.
Since she began skating at the age of 12, Surya Bonali has made a steady rise to the top of the international ladder in ladies figure skating. At the Albertville Games, she was a disappointing fifth, succumbing to the pressure of skating in front of her home country. Now, at the age of 20, she hopes to become the first figure skating Olympic champion France has ever had.
This Lillehammer 94 Quest for Gold is brought to you by Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab, helping investors help themselves.
If she does win the gold, Surya will be the first of another kind. No other ladies figure skater has taken the gold with a performance built on such athleticism. Explosive jumps, twists, even flips, they are all in Bonali's repertoire. She attacks her routine with reckless abandon without a trace of fear. But that's nothing new.
I am different from the others. When I was younger, I was also never scared to walk by myself at night in the forest. I never really felt scared of anything. I'm generally not a fearful person.
That's what comes from a run-and-tumble childhood. By the time Surya picked up skating 8 years ago, she was already a world-class junior gymnast. Judging by her skating style, she obviously never left gymnastics and still lists that as one of her interests, along with dance, and no surprise here, trampoline work. Whether or not she wins a gold medal, she'll leave her mark on the sport. At the very least, her performance is causing skate manufacturers to modify their product.
They're good enough for regular skating, but they aren't supportive enough for me to really excel in the jumping and the more gymnastic elements of my routine. I need a boot that has a tight enough fit to hold my foot in place and support my stance in the boot during the spinning and jumping parts of my routine.
It's scary to think what she could do with proper equipment. Bonali is already the three-time defending French and European champion and finished second in this year's World Championships. If the skates are ready for Lillehammer, she will be only one element short of being a shoo-in for the gold medal.
Because I miss my dog. And this one, this one.
Normally, I always have my dog with me. I think he brings me good luck. Now I bring my toy dogs with me. I especially like this one because he does backflips.
How appropriate. Suri is determined to become the first woman to ever complete a quadruple jump in Olympic competition. If she can nail that jump here in Lillehammer, it could be the ingredient to put her on top of the medal stand. Lillehammer 94 will continue in a moment. Well, that's it for this installment of Lillehammer 94. Join us again next time for an hour-long special featuring previews of the men's and ladies figure skating competition. Also, an inside look at hockey, bobsled, and alpine skiing. Check your local listings for the date and time in your area. Until then, I'm Tim Ryan saying so long from Lillehammer.
The easy way to Lillehammer in 94 is on Delta's daily flight from JFK nonstop to Oslo. Delta Airlines, the only U.S. airline serving Norway. Lillehammer 94 has been brought to you by Charles Schwab and Company, helping investors help themselves.
First News at 4 gives you the freshest look at the news events in your area. It's fresh, accurate, and first. First News at 4, the only answer to what's going on here on WJBK TV2.
Presentation of GGP Sports.